me make a quick swing back to you, Nelson. Is our fight supposed to be against corruption or against impunity? Because like both Mr. Badamasi and Dr. Ashur have said, it's pretty much a global phenomenon. There is no country in the world that you can say there is not a single corrupt element. Corruption is everywhere around the world, but the level of it, it differs. And the difference is that word that we continue to echo and make a lot of noise about in Nigeria. Should our fight be against impunity, or should we fight corruption?
I think I will refer back to the Transparency International's report, the last one in December last year. There's a comment made by the agency. The position they took is that every country that was reviewed, out of 177 countries reviewed, were all corrupt in one way or the other. None was excused, including Switzerland. That's one of the top 10. And we all know what happens in Swiss bank. So if you look at that aspect and look at those ones at the down floor, majority of their problems were that there was a disconnect between the poor and the rich, sometimes occasioned by the governance style, maybe military intervention or political crisis in those areas. Now they classified other groups as those who are suffering resource costs. Nigeria was in that category, where you have everything going for you, yet poverty line was down, and then certain level of elites were produced from the same society. It's a dichotomous, disjointed analysis, where you see a society that is ordinarily having a low GDP, having produced serious elites,
extremely rich people and extremely poor people
in the same society.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in any of those analyses. That was why Nigeria was singled out, and I carefully studied that part. And I said, look, what is it showing? It's showing that there's a disconnect between the corrupt index analysis in terms of fighting. Who is fighting who? The poor people's resources are being taken by some people, and those people are not reinvesting those money inside the people's life. If, for instance, those monies stashed in overseas banks were actually invested in Nigeria. And look at it
in Dubai.
Yes. Were invested in yes. If they were invested in Nigeria, definitely it creates employment. You may be having a moral burden that, oh, those money were still stolen, but then you have also to have a legitimacy issue that this money were also invested in this country. That is where we're having this problem. That all this corrupt money that have produced elite Nigerians
is being shipped out.
Look at the fuel scarcity situation. That's mooted that many of these fuels that have been imported here and there, the refineries were owned or co-owned or invested by Nigerians across different shores of the world. Yet, none is functioning effectively in Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigerian type of corruption. In almost other types of corruptions, they reinvest
in their country.
and their country grow.
Okay. But sorry, the question I asked is still on impunity.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the
corruption.
impunity part of it, that is the aspect of impunity, where you steal, rather than investing it back in the people's life, you take it away from the people. It's a double.
You see,
impunity
compounds
yes,
the corruption problem
yes,
in any society.
that's what I'm saying. The impunity is that this is an example of impunity. Because if you want to talk about impunity, you're not going to talk at it in a grammatical sense. That impunity here means that someone stole a family property, took it out of the family control, out of family relationship, where he can never benefit
is
the
happening
people.
to him.
Are you getting it? If this person has stolen the family property here, and in the neighborhood, they can see even in assets tracing that this is their belonging. That would be a better.
Please let me. You see, impunity compounds corruption in any society. See, the essence of punishing deviants in any society is to deter them from,
deter others.
Yes, deter that person and others who may want to go that way. But when you steal 1 naira today and they pat you on the back, tomorrow you will steal 1 million. And that is why corruption is becoming endemic and entrenched in Nigeria. Today, not only do officials steal, stealing has become official. And that's why when you go to any, I mean, we've had top government functionaries saying, we invited you to come and eat. Eat what? Governance anywhere is about service.
Not about eating.
Not about eating. And politicians across all the divide, they say, we brought you here to come and eat. Now you are holding our hand. And then there's somebody in the saddle. For goodness sake, there's an Inspector General of Police in the country. There's chief of one team, defense, army, and all that. And they hear things like that, and you know,
if I may,
it becomes,
okay.
You know.
Let's hear
if I may come in
what
at this point. I said earlier that Nigerians, as a collective,